Everybody's got their thoughts when it comes to AI, artificial intelligence being used for artwork and gaming and the entertainment industry as a whole and movies. Some people are against it, some people are for it, some people are like, hey, as long as it's not taking away jobs, it's using as a supplement, whatever, right? Everybody's gonna have their different views, but not every company is jumping on that, hey, we got to do this AI artwork type of thing. Some are coming up with ways to use AI to allow the games to play themselves that you're going to spend like $70 for. Let this game play itself. I find this interesting and I want to discuss it with you guys. So Sony, they've been diving into this AI stuff lately. It looks like they filed this new autoplay patent. So it's just a filing for a patent. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come to fruition tomorrow, in a week, anything like that. But previously, about a month ago, Sony had another patent that this article on Game Rant states could lead to AI game streams. They're talking about freaking artificial intelligence live streaming a video game, and based off of viewer feedback, the AI would, change or be able to interact or do things differently. AI streamers could bridge AI and VTuber tech on Twitch, leading to personalized streaming experiences. I what Let the game play itself, and just it's a really faceless individual, not a VTuber, an actual AI playing the game. They're like the machines are going to be taken over, man. This one's interesting. I haven't really dug too much into it, but this is the one I wanted to talk about because I think it could partially fall into the accessibility, segment of making games more accessible to people, and that's been a very controversial topic in years past. I'm all for accessibility. Some people have disabilities and whatnot, and to be able to have options, different controllers, different ways to set up controls is a good thing. But also at the same time, my stance is like, hey, I want to respect whatever the developer, whatever their intentions are. If they don't put an easy mode in the game, is that anti-accessibility? To some, it may be, but say they just want their game to be hard as balls and that's it. Yeah, it kind of sucks for some people. There's games that freaking I try playing. I'm like, holy crap, dude, I suck at this, man. Do I wish I could just autoplay it and enjoy it like it's a freaking movie? No, no. I don't need a feature to make a game that's not for me, essentially. But accessibility, as far as like allowing people to be able to actually try to play the game, sure. I'm all for that in, various ways. But, some things I think need to be led to the developer. But this autoplay thing is essentially something that they state will allow players to skip some gameplay elements. So just watch it. Like this AI model just playing through the game for you. Not like pre-recorded scenes, but just like, man, this is too grindy. I can't get into this part of the game. This sucks. Let the Sony autoplay jump in and take over. I'm like, what? I don't know, but at the same time, I remember going back to like when Final Fantasy 3 came out for the Super Nintendo. What was that river called? Very early in the game, where if I think you just held up and you could set it up, like tape the buttons down, and you would just go on a loop around this freaking river, and you would just constantly gain experience from like auto battles and whatnot. And you wouldn't die. It was just the way it worked. You leave it overnight, gain a bunch of levels, wake up in the morning, be like, hell yeah. So, a lot of us may be guilty of some form of autoplay in the past. So, am I against this? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I would just hope that this is not something that Sony implements and it's just across the board. But if they do, hey, it's a feature, I don't have to use it. I would imagine this would be something like Sony would put into their own games, which a lot of their games are already like cinematic anyway. And say, how much more of it do you want to watch as a movie? I guess. But if it was just Sony putting in, other companies could add the feature. Cool. If you could just not bother with it if you don't want. But I would, like my earlier statement, if say a developer was like, I don't want this as part of my game because I want this to be experienced a certain way, I tend to respect that. This kind of reminds me in the thought process that I'm having of back when these food delivery companies were getting big, especially during the T virus stuff that was going on. And there were some restaurants that were like, hell no, I don't want my food to be delivered because the end experience isn't going to be what I intended. Preparing the food, sitting in a damn bag. By the time the driver picks it up, them dilly-dallying around, like the ladies like to say, finally getting to the drop-off point. The food that gets experienced at that point is not the way that the restaurant initially intended it. And there was a lot of vocal restaurants out there who were just, we don't want to participate in this nonsense, because a lot of these delivery companies were forcing them to, like just adding them to their app type of thing. So it kind of just, that's my same thought process here. Let it be up to the developers, but a little bit more information that they have here. So this patent, it could be implemented to create an AI-powered system that would enable gamers to skip gameplay segments by using that autoplay mode. According to the patent, the auto gaming mode would use an AI model to learn how to simulate gameplay style by taking information from cloud-based services such as the PlayStation Network. This is interesting because one of the arguments I see against AI art is with it having to learn, and it pulls like reference material, and people don't like that. Is this going to pull reference material from other people's gameplay style? Are they going to be like, I don't like this because now it's stealing the way I play to be able to let somebody else watch the game? It could be interesting to see how this plays out, how people react to this. If this patent actually comes to fruition, I think it may eventually come out, but I mean, it's just a patent, so we have no real idea here on what these guys are planning, but they have a little diagram here. Predicted interactive activity, auto grind. What was the AGC? Anticipated grinding content. Boom. So gameplay, auto play notification, game plays itself. You could go back and forth between this mode. Weird, but it's there. If it's there and you don't have to use it, whatever. It's just gaming has definitely been changing a lot lately. I mean, we could go on for days about all this craziness out there. But I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this autoplay. I could imagine there's going to be some people who are really like, screw that noise, man. Like, that shouldn't be part of any gameplay system. Then other people would be like, hey, that's cool. To each their own, man. It's not the end of the world. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Bye.